Hey everybody, my name is Shaquela, and today I'm going to be speaking about stepping out of mediocrity and into your purpose. I'll be sharing on some things I've been through, things I'm still mastering, and who knows, things I may even still encounter and overcome, because I am an overcomer, just like you are. So, with my husband and I owning our own business now and us still striving to own and operate other sources of income, the whole course of it all forces you to either grow and welcome change or remain the same. So it teaches you a lot about a lot of different things and just how important personal growth and development really is. I know I've learned a lot. And I've already shared with you all briefly about my dealings with insecurity growing up. And I'm always open to sharing more. And if I can help somebody, great, the better. But growing up, although I would still consider myself raised properly in the best way possible under my life circumstances, and also more fortunate than some of the others around me, I was programmed to thinking a certain way. I was rewarded for good grades, whether it be by money or my name in a newspaper. All of it, the rewards, recognition, and repetitiveness, they conditioned me into thinking a certain way. They conditioned me into a way of thinking. So, through school you have all of these different people, different personalities, and just everyone with their opinion on the world and how things work coming at you from every which way, that you can lose yourself in the midst and not even know it. Soon you end up taking up what someone else is doing and then not even realizing that you'd be much happier doing something else. But because the majority are doing it and they say it's right, you try to conform your mind and your talents to fit in with the rest. And when you do that, you actually deprive yourself the opportunity of discovering your own heart's desires and abilities that God gave you to set you apart from the rest. And this goes for the opposite as well. So if you feel and know in your heart, in your gut, that God is leading you there instead of here, just because the majority don't do it or they're not willing to do it, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that you're going in the wrong direction. You have to follow your instincts, no one else's. So, yes, your journey or your route may seem inconsistent or, even labeled as an idiosyncrasy, to the norm. But what fun is it to be like the rest when God made you an original? Really, I'm talking about stepping out of mediocrity and into your purpose. So, I was also groomed, just like a lot of other people, to go to school, make good grades, get a job working for somebody else, that I wasn't told I had other options, that there were other options. I learned that for myself, and I just really thank God for realizing it at the age that I am, because I know that there are still a lot of people out there, even people older than me, that, still haven't realized that yet. So, some think that they're too old and others are just oblivious to the fact. But it doesn't matter what age that you are. If you're still above ground, why not go for it with no regrets? The only and biggest competitor you'll ever come up against is yourself. Yourself can talk you out of things, yourself can get in the way, and yourself can be dangerous if you let it. So I didn't know that a formal education can't teach you everything or prepare everyone for the real world. It just doesn't. I had been groomed into thinking that since I was considered smart, that if I decided not to attend college, then it would be obviously a stupid decision, and then I would end up as a failure, which I had never experienced before. I always felt bad about myself. I already did feel bad about myself. So, I already wanted to run away from my life at home. My parents were divorced, had a horrible relationship with my father. It's a little better. It's still rocky. I don't know. But, my mom was depressed and my brother was dying. So, I wasn't about to mess up my future and not go to college. But whose future was I going after? Whose future are you going after? I was a straight A 4.0 student who made the principal's list every year. I mean, of course, there were just a few B's here and there, throughout school, elementary, middle school, high school. But I'm saying I couldn't even break 1,000 on the SAT, not one of the 3 times I took it. I had never studied in my life, I learned the concept. I remember what I needed to know for the test. I'd ace it, then forget everything I was taught. So what does that mean? I mean, I wasn't stupid. Just making a point. School taught me to major in something promising that I could get a job and make some money once I graduated. But, I guess accounting isn't that promising because I couldn't land a job in that field for anything. And I'm being a little sarcastic, just saying. But, I mean, I consider that a blessing still in disguise because I know my heart wasn't really there. It was never really in it to begin with. And, it wasn't really what I wanted to do. It's just me. That's my opinion. But I'm not saying not to become a doctor, a lawyer, or anything like that. Or don't go to school. Go to school. Education is important. But many people think that learning stops after that diploma or that degree. I thought that too, like, my deed is done, I don't have to pick up another book, no more studying, when actually the studying had just begun because, afterwards you find out about your true self and how things really are, not how school taught you it would be. So like I said, I had no direction while I was going through school. I was on autopilot, basically doing what was expected of me from my family, teachers, everybody. So no matter what, I never felt like I was a part of the mediocrity that occurred around me. I always felt like there was so much more. It made me question myself, doubt myself, and think, what's wrong with me? And I got even more depressed and more insecure. But reality was nothing was wrong with me. I was just the right puzzle piece trying to force myself to fit into the wrong jigsaw puzzle. So now that I know what I know, which I can now say I know hardly anything at all because there's just so much to learn, but I know a lot more than what I did before, I'm finally putting myself the right piece within the right jigsaw puzzle. I'm just working on getting all the edges in place, laying the foundation, and then all the other pieces will follow suit. So you can't rush putting 1,000 pieces together. You flip them over and find one piece at a time, and you just enjoy the process. Don't allow other people to dictate how your future is, to turn out. Don't allow other people's opinions to dictate and determine what you're capable of and what's possible. Just don't respond at all. That takes too much energy. For what? That's energy you could be putting in something else, Just take control over what matters to you and what you care about and take action, regardless of anyone else's approval. As long as you know it's right and know where you're going, you'll get there. You can't keep your attention on the obstacle, to keep from hitting it. You do that, and you'll surely hit that target. But if you instead see the obstacle and shift your focus on your destination instead of the obstacle, that's the direction that you'll go. The mediocrity in your life doesn't have to define you. You decide which target you want to hit. So my question for you is, what fears or insecurities are you going to have to face in order to make an impact that you would have otherwise considered impossible to create the future you've always wanted? Are you willing to confront them face to face? Feel free to contact me at rise, R-I-Z-E, 4, success @gmail.com. Rise with a Z, 4, success @gmail.com. I would love to get your feedback, comments, and any questions you might have that I can answer. Later.